Hello, I am putting together a video around building a web application under 3 minutes using AI and consuming an API. Um, just a quick overview of the prerequisites. I will be using Visual Studio 2022. I will be leveraging GitHub Copilot for my AI piece and consuming alpaca API. The application will get an input from the user for a particular stock ticker like Apple or Microsoft. It will call the alpaca API, and then it will display the results in a web page. We are going to rely on GitHub Copilot for the conversation piece, so it can walk us through building the application from scratch with minimal set of kind of technical prerequisites. Let's go ahead and get started. I am starting Visual Studio and I will be using a ASP.NET Core application. It's an empty project. I will call this stock demo. And then we'll go ahead and click next and let the application get created with all of the defaults. Once the Visual Studio project is created, I do have the GitHub Copilot chat, and then I will ask it to do a number of tasks. It is extremely important to add context when you conversate with the AI component. In this case, I am going to ask it the following. Add an HTML page called index.html with the proper JavaScript and update the program.cs to ensure that all the components are loaded properly. As you can see, I am adding as much information as I can, so the AI kind of copilot is able to get this information. My intent is to build the front-end UI with the HTML page and then also add the JavaScript associated with it. Once this is created, I will update the code that is generated from the GitHub Copilot with my solution files. I then went and took all of the different components and content created, and I have updated my solution. I updated my program.cs from kind of what the directions have highlighted. I have added script.js, and I also have updated index.html. All of that has been updated in my solution, and now I am ready to run my project so we can make sure that it is working. Once I run the application, I am able to click F5 and then it tells me that the script has been loaded successfully. This is how I know that the application is actually working. We are now going to move to the next step so we can add our other components. Now I will go to my script.js, which is my JavaScript file, and then I already have my API endpoint ready. So I'm going to tell um, the Copilot to invoke that API, pass using get method, and then make sure that to pass this headers, which is the ID and the secret created. Those will be kind of regenerated later on. This is again for demo purposes. I will click create and then we'll see what the application is created for us. And it gave us a list of instructions. It has created a JavaScript file for us, kind of highlighted how we can consume it. I will then take that code and then place it into my JavaScript file. The code is generated, but I do want to make this application a bit more kind of interactive. So I'm going to ask Copilot to create a text box for me with in the HTML page, accept a stock ticker, and then click a button that will invoke this component. So I will ask it the following. I am now going to ask Copilot to update the HTML page to add a text button, a button, and a span for output. I want the application to take the input value and pass that as a parameter to the function that has been recently created, where the value or the stock of MSFT is going to be a variable. Basically, I want to be able to put in an actual stock input and then get the results back. And the idea and the intent of Copilot is to conversate with you so you are able to reiteratively provide feedback, look at the content generated, and then update it as you see necessary. I have then gone through and updated my JavaScript files and HTML files from the code that has been generated, and now I am ready to test this application, and this is what I will do next. Once I click F5, we have our application. It has our label, simple text box, and then button. We can then just try it out. I'm going to click on the MSFT, which is our Microsoft stock ticker. Make sure, okay, perfect. We get a response back. This is a JSON response from the Alpaca API. We can also try our Apple kind of quote. We get another response. Then we can even just try, like for example, Tesla. So what happened here is we're able to put the input in the text box, invoke that button, which will make an API call to the Alpaca and then give us a response back. This concludes the demo for this piece. More than welcome to add your feedback to the comments, and then in the next videos we can take it even a little bit further and then see how we can format the response and make it a little bit more advanced.